welcome to Work the Left Side. I'm hyper hyped to announce tonight's guest. Taking a break from collecting gold, it is the one, the only Mr. KT Gold. Sir, are you good?
I'm all right. How are you, sir?
Hey, I am fine. 5x5, too blessed to be stressed. So, yeah, man, looking forward to this because obviously I've made it no secret. Anybody who follows Work the Left Side on Facebook or Instagram will have seen me posting or about UKW lots and lots and lots since I think about August last year, which is when I kind of popped my cherry and ventured down to see what you're all doing in Batley. And yeah, I've pretty much been back every Friday since. So yeah, man.
I have noticed that. I see you every Friday now.
You do? I was there. Started taking my little boo with me just because I can't be asked booing people. So I think as a visual gag, it's again, anybody who went wrestling in Newcastle knows that there's a small child in Newcastle somewhere that takes full credit for that. But I have blatantly stolen it, and I don't care.
I mean, I'm glad to see you every Friday, so it's all right.
You will be booed. But yeah, dude, that's it. I mean, I was going to sort of say, obviously, I've had the pleasure of talking to a few guys from UKW over the last few months. I'll put you in with that bracket, of the guys that kind of I want to see. And one of the reasons, that I come back on a weekly basis is, it's like seeing what you're doing, Cavelli, Mason, George, Joe, Seb. To me, man, it's just there's a hell of a lot of young talent all popping up at the same time in the same building. Dude, I think it's awesome.
I think it's quite cool to see that there is quite a lot of young talent, same age as me, and a bit older. It's cool to see, to be honest. And I can't wait to see what's in the future for them.
Yeah, I was going to say, when you're there, man, the electricity must just be, because if I'm noticing it, it must be something like you pick up on, before shows, during shows. It must be like just a good kind of energy. And yeah, man, I just like to say,
everyone's decent.
Yeah, they're decent. They're all right. Yeah, some of them are all right.
They're decent. They're all right.
Meh. Obviously, I think just a little bit. I think when I first started going there, obviously you was I think you and Cavelli had a series of matches back to back kind of thing. And I was just like, damn, both of these. Obviously, Sam's a young'un. You're pretty much the veteran in that picture in comparison. But again,
pretty much. I do remember having my first match with Sam. I quite enjoyed it because I thought at first, and I hate to say it in front of everyone else, I thought he was a rookie and they were giving me a rookie, something like that. But then when I actually had him against me, I was like, whoa, this kid actually knows his stuff. He actually knows what he's doing. I assumed wrong. And I was like, I was really amazed with what he could do, to be fair.
See, again, like say, mentioned him. So I've seen you go against Mason a few times. It's just, like I say, man, it kind of blows my mind that you've got that much talent in one place. And it's not just UKW, obviously. I mean, I know when we've talked, we were talking about it. It's like at Firestar as well. The promotion that's on my radar, I've never been able to get to a show. But again, as I was mentioning about, UKW, I know there's a handful of good talent, young talent at Firestar, as well as, and they're bringing in established names to kind of get that balance. But I was looking through your Insta, and obviously I was looking at the photos of you versus one Mr. Kirby.
I did go against Mr. Kirby. Yeah, I shit myself looking forward to that because I thought I was going to mess everything up, and I was like, "Oh no, oh, this isn't going to be good. Oh no!" And then got in there, and he was all chill. He was all right. We got to the end, and it went fine. So luckily, I was advanced enough to get into that match and get out of it.
Yeah. You say luckily though, dude. I mean, that's just obviously hard work. They want to put you in that match if they didn't think you could handle it. You know what I mean? They're not going to bring Kirby in and be like, right, we'll put him against somebody who's going to make us look an absolute job squad. But no, we'll put him in there with KT. KT's cool. He'll give Kirby a match.
I mean, they put me up against quite a few big names. I think one of the biggest names that they put me up against was Damien Dunn from NXT UK. Really enjoyed that match, to be fair.
No fun done.
Yes, no fun done. Brilliant talent.
But again, anybody knows. But I mentioned the Kirby thing just because I think, again, I like talking about, just to hype you guys up really, and just kind of give you sort of like that pat on the back, being like, they wouldn't put you in the ring with guys like that unless they knew you could hold your own. And afterwards, man, like I said, you could literally just sit there and be like, "Yep, sorted. Jobs are good." And Kirby's one of my all-time favorites. So whenever I get a chance to see anybody go up against him, I'm just like, right, let's do this. This is going to be. It's one of those matches you're just better for being in the ring with him.
Exactly. Then again, Kirby's a fan favorite for everyone, so I don't blame him. I don't blame you for having him as a favorite because he is one of my favorites as well. So
There you go. Well, that kind of obviously one of your favorites in regard to. I mean, we'll get to it eventually at some point. The generic question of how you got into wrestling and stuff like that. But before we go into that kind of side of things, were you aware of the British scene before you kind of started working in it? Were you a fan before you became, a worker?
because I get this question quite a lot, because I'm not from the UK. I get this question a lot, and they ask me if I've been into it all before I moved. No.
Yeah.
I liked NXT UK wrestlers. My favorite one was Flash Morgan Webster, 100%. Still is my favorite one. But other than that, I could only name people like Pete Dunne, Flash Morgan Webster, stuff like that. Now that I'm here, I've gotten more into it. But yeah, before then, about maybe 4 or 5 years ago, no, I wasn't into it much.
Understandable, dude. Like you sort of said, there's people that live here that don't even know about it, kind of thing. So yeah, I don't know much. I probably should have asked you 20 questions before starting recording, but I like to just kind of do it on the fly. So yeah, obviously, I wasn't sure of the timeline. When you moved here, how long you've been living here, kind of thing. Because obviously, you're looking at your bio, dual nationality, kind of thing. So, but yeah, if you weren't here, there's no reason for you to know about it, really. It's especially 4 or 5 years ago. It wasn't as big then as it is now, thanks to like YouTube and socials and stuff. But now that you're here, now that you know about it, kind of what was your introduction? Did you come over here being a wrestling fan and think, right, while I'm here, I need something to do, or was it being here that just kind of made you think, fuck it, we'll do some wrestling?
No, I came over here actually trained. I've been training for about 12 years. And the place that I used to live was Malta, and there was only one wrestling school there. And the guy who was training it was a big butch guy, looked like Bruiser Brody, so you wouldn't get on his bad side at all. And when I moved, I think I'd say I was about 12 when I moved. Maybe not, maybe 13, I don't know. But I got straight into the business, like straight away. We got into a few shows. The minute I moved, Firestar had just started, so I got into there straight away.
Wow.
But yeah, everything since then has been great. I've loved it. Wouldn't want to do anything else.
Right, actually, so it's like some things like so. I'm trying to. I've got you pegged, man. Whether it's just because I'm old and everybody looks young. But I had you pegged as like 1920. So if you've been training for like 12, I'm like, you just said you've been training for like 12 years. I'm like, right, okay, so you're obviously older than I think you are.
It will be 12 years, June 20th.
Right.
But no, I'm only 17.
Ooh, so right, okay. So I wasn't. It's not. So I would try that comment. I'll edit that out. I'm not old. You don't look young just because I'm old. Just you look young because you're young, dude. So you started when you was like 5.
I started when I was 6, so June 20th it will officially be 12 years. Currently, I'm on 11 years. But once it hits June 20th, I will be on 12 years.
Mate, that is mental. I thought Joey Styles had it pegged when he starting at like 10 kind of thing. I thought, he'd probably be like one of the youngest ones because I could sort of say he's been wrestling for more than half of his life. But yeah, dude, that's pretty much, I can echo that with you and then some.
Yeah.
Wow, 5. That's okay. Those that just I'm definitely interested in the origin story now. What makes a 5-year-old want to start wrestling?
Huh?
What makes a 5-year-old want to start wrestling?
I don't know. I always enjoyed it. Like, my dad wasn't really into like WWE. He was more into like WCW, Monday Night Wars, and all that stuff. And honestly, I could see why, because it was so much better that time. And people like Shawn Michaels, I saw him doing a super kick, and I was like, "Oh my god, how has he just done that?" Saw people like Jeff Hardy do a flip, and I'm like, "I want to be like him." And it was just like, I thought it was such a cool thing. I mean, not everyone in my school, was like, well, I like wrestling. They were more into football and all that, and rugby and soccer and all that crap. And I was more into wrestling, and I'd get made fun of because of it, but I really didn't care because it was, in my opinion, better than every single one of those.
Yeah, I think,
So,
I'm not going to argue it.
Hmm?
I'm not going to argue with that statement.
I mean, you can kick a ball anywhere. Seriously, you can just walk up to a guy and it just happens.
But not everyone can wrestle. Like I said, yeah, you can have a kick around on Sunday. You can't just go and have it. Well, you could, but it probably wouldn't end very well. You could go and have
It wouldn't end well.
yeah, a cheeky wrestling match on a Sunday, but yeah, it's not going to end well. But yeah, man, that's quality. So obviously, then you've already trained him before you come over here. So you come over here. Look, you're looking around. Is that one of the first things you do? Then you look to where's local, where's to train? Do you kind of like jump on Google and just put in wrestling schools?
Not really, because we had a seminar with Marty Jones in Malta, and he runs a school which I'm sure you know of, Squared Circle.
Yeah.
And I went to his for a couple, I'd say about a month or two. And then we started with Remus Kane, which ran Ensor, which also Tommy Dillon was actually one of the coaches there. So that's where I met Tommy Dillon. Hung around there for about a year, and then Firestar training started in the Ripon Club. So I continued there because Ensor had then shut down. But yeah, then Firestar opened, so I still had a place to go, and I'm still continuing with Firestar.
Yeah. Man, I was like, that's crazy because obviously, again, I knew of Firestar. I didn't realize they'd been around for that long. I've only sort of been aware of them for the last couple of years, kind of thing. Well, that's cool. So they've got like a history and a legacy to them. So yeah, from Firestar then down to UKW. Did you venture down to UKW to do any training, or?
I went once. I went with a mate of mine. I really enjoyed it, to be fair. But it's just with travel, because obviously I go there pretty much every Friday.
Yeah.
So it's like, then I've got to get a train there, or I have to ask for a lift. And to be honest, I hate asking for lifts. Not because I don't like the person or anything, because the guy that I go with, brilliant guy. It's just I feel so bad after, just because that's like literally the only reason I message him, because we don't really have anything in common apart from wrestling, obviously. But yeah, I feel bad asking him if I can just go with him, whereas with Firestar it's 20-minute drive.
Yeah.
20-minute drive, and it's like just up the street.
I'm sure if reminded, dude, he would have said no at some point by now. But the fact that I keep seeing you every Friday means it must be all good. Probably just your driving buddies, your co-pilot buddies.
Yeah, the guy that I go with, Chris Castle, a lovely guy, love him to bits. I just hate asking him every time because I feel bad. I feel like he's gonna say no one day, and he's like gonna get pissed off and all.
Like, nah, it's fine. All right, cool. So, right, so there'll be no Tommy Dillon bashing and no Chris Castle bashing in this episode. Then I won't do that
No,
to
no, no,
you. I'm joking, by the way. I wouldn't do that.
no,
But
but I get you.
the but yeah, I mean that's more impressive because I kind of again not really knowing much, kind of just coming into it, just wanting to learn by talking to you, kind of thing. I just kind of presumed, yeah, that you was part of the the UKW because again, with you being what I would class as one of the young talents, I just kind of presumed you were there because you trained there, kind of thing. So that's cool as well because that's obviously you're there on your own merits from somewhere else.
No, no, I've been a couple places before UK, and I did debut at the last Celebration show that they had. And it was a 6-man. It was me, Madness Malik, um, man named I can't remember his name. Man named George, I think. I think it was Remus Kane, and Yorkshireman. I enjoyed it, and then I messaged the guy that booked me, and I was like, "Do you have anything else for me?" I didn't hear back till about Halloween time, which was then when I started coming back in, and they had me for face for one show, and then we had the Sam Gavilli match, which then it was like, right, what do we do? Keep me face or turn me heel? Obviously, I wanted Sam to get a bigger pop, you know.
Yeah.
That's kind of what you do as a wrestler. You build your other guy up. So I went heel. But before that, before all the UKW, I went to quite a few companies for the past 3 years, 4 years. I can't really remember how long it's been, to be fair. But I've been to a few companies, to be fair.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I mean, I was looking through your Insta. Like I said, I know you've worked at various promotions. So I just kind of thought, like I sort of said, yeah, you were one of the UKW in-house guys, kind of thing. Because, like I say, it's a compliment to you, dude. That that they're booking you, and you're not one of their guys, but you are one of the young talents, kind of thing. So yeah, that's big praise on your part. Obviously, they've seen the hard work and they think, right, okay, yeah, this guy can do a job for us. Or come in, and you do get the crowd going. You do get that reaction. When that music hits, the crowd are like
Yeah, they
booing
don't like me.
accordingly.
Yeah,
So,
they hate me.
but it
But that's
works,
what I
man.
want. That's what I want them to feel, because that's kind of the character that I'm going for. Like, they need to hate me.
Yeah.
If they
I
don't
like the
hate
way
me, my job's just gone.
exactly you're not doing. I like the fact that I kind of turned Ruby heel a few weeks ago. She turned on like, we want to know, we want people to know that she's a heel. What do we do? Boom, we team up with KT
But with the
Gold.
biggest guy that everyone hates. God knows why. I mean, I've got the sickest music, to be fair.
Dude, I don't think the speakers do your music justice. I've said that a few times. I was like, if they had
They do.
a surround sound Dolby system, if that was in like X Plus, mate, that music would be like, yeah, that'd be awesome. It's too
I've
basic.
had that with a few companies, to be fair, where the music is just crap. Um, I think the first show that I did without UKW, the music, like, the speakers were great, but it's just the music came out so crap you could barely hear it. Compared to the other music sounded like it was on 100%, where mine
Yeah.
sounded like it was on 10%. Couldn't hear anything. So hopefully there's a way that I can get the music to sound 100
Yeah.
instead of 10. Because if I can, that music, I'd love to hear it properly.
That kind of mess you up though, because I can only imagine. Again, I'm speaking from this side of the curtain, an uneducated opinion, but I would presume hearing the music is a key part in kind of like flipping that switch, getting the mindset, coming out, kind of thing. So yeah, if your music's not quite right, or if you can't hear it very well, does that kind of fuck you up a little bit before you even come out?
I mean, I don't know, because I've got like 30 seconds before I have to actually come out. So in the 30 seconds, if I don't hear it for the first 15 seconds, I'm all right, because I know when the next 15 seconds is going to happen.
Right.
Usually I just count it on in my head and then think of what I'm going to do. It does get frustrating sometimes, because when I actually am counting it in my head when I need to go, it's like, if I miss a number, I'm gonna go out too early, gonna go out too late, some blah blah like that. Um, but then once I am out, I can hear it properly. It's just behind the curtain, you can't really hear it as well. But once you're out there, everything's clear because obviously you go out and you're right next to the speakers. Exactly. You're right next to the speakers, walkway's right in front of you. Just walk. That's all you can do.
Go for it. But yeah, I get it. Like I said, I'll just be like, from my perspective, I'd just be kind of like, yeah, I was kind of, I would think the music played like I say, a big part in just getting yourself, hyped, getting yourself ready to come through those curtains. But again, I don't know squat. So yeah, that's fine. Like I say, if you're kind of off in your head anyway.
It does. I mean, it gets my opponents hyped as well because when I had Sam Cavelli and he heard my music, he was a bit stressed and he's like, "Oh, this is fire! This is fire! You listening to this?" I was like, "Oh, cheers, dude." Um, I went out and then he came out, and then I think I don't know who it was, but it was an opponent that came up to me whilst we were in a lock. He took me to a corner and was like, "Your music is fire," and he just whipped me off. I don't know who it was. I know it was someone at UKW. Can't remember who it was. Um, but most of the opponents that I go against, they hear the music and they're like, "Oh, this is actually quite a good beat." Even Nikki thinks it. Nikki thinks it. Brocco thinks it. And honestly, if people like the music but they don't like the character, I really don't mind because the music is a banger.
Yeah.
In all fairness.
Yeah, but I'm there. It's I say it's one of the most. Sometimes I think that's in wrestling. Your character's important, everything like that. But the music for me is a massive part as well because it's like the first taste that the audience get of who's going to be coming out. Like in a rumble, music is key kind of thing. You hear the music, before they even walk out, you know who it is. And I'd say 87% of music sometimes in wrestling is. I can still sit there. I'll be like, I have no idea who's coming out until I see them. But yeah, I hear that music. I'm like, yeah, I don't even need to kind of, who it is straight away. So that's a massive box ticked from the get go.
Yeah, I get what you mean. With most wrestlers that I see nowadays, I don't really know who they are unless I see them. I can't really tell by the music. The only music that I can actually tell is the Thunder Buddies, but that's because it literally says it in the name, like in the song. That's the only like.
Yeah, it's a bit giveaway.
I know.
It's a giveaway. Oh, them and sorry, Alex Gunn as well. Just because I'm just like, this music is just so dire, but I know by association whose it is now.
Yeah.
Just that slow piano. I'm just like, it's. I'm not besmirching the song. It's a great, But I was like, that's not for me. That's like, it's not what I would expect to hear at wrestling. But he's a heel. It's pissed me off. Yeah, again, tick the box already before he's even done anything. I'm like, fucking hate. I hate this.
Yeah, with music, I've started to remember a few. I know Ruby Brocco's by heart. Joe Cedric's, I've started to remember his. Yorkshireman, obviously, everyone knows Yorkshireman. And George Hunter, I started to kind of remember his, but it's just those few that I remember. It's not a lot.
Shout out to Gung Ho Muttley for me. He's got just while we're talking music, I would be amiss if I just didn't shout out one of my favourite.
I do love Gung Ho Muttley to be fair.
But again, it's a giveaway. It says his name in the song. You got to know who it is.
Sorry, it's just a tune.
Gung Ho Muttley. But yeah, again, I just think it's one of those things of like whether people. It's always like one of the generic questions, like, if you're a wrestler, what would your song be, kind of thing. And obviously, with YouTube and everything, I know it's all copyrighted now, so if it's key to have, your own kind of music, or you don't want it, don't want anything getting flagged. I always kind of spent so much time thinking about how important it was, to have the right song to set the tone, kind of thing, and to build in the song as well, and then just having that build and then just coming through the curtain, kind of thing. So I don't know if it's just me thinking way too much into it, or whether it was something that everybody thinks.
You're thinking perfectly, perfect, because it is hard to think about music and what you can choose, because obviously everything on YouTube is pretty much copyrighted. And some companies will let you use that copyrighted music, but it's companies that are more professional, like UKW, they won't let you use that copyrighted music. So you have to really think and find something, and it is hard. It's not as easy as like the other companies where you can just go, "Oh, I want For Whom the Bell Tolls," or "I want Lady Gaga," some shit like that. Um, it's not easy picking your music.
Yeah, that's it, man. I was like saying, kudos, like I say to everyone. I kind of had that issue when we first started, like intro music for episodes. I know it's not the same kind of thing, but it is something I've got to kind of like. I want to set the tone for the show. I want to do this. I want to do that. I don't want to get flagged up on for copyright issues. I end up using like some generic license-free music for the first few years. Thankfully, my much better half became mates with the band Pulverize. So I was like, ha ha, can I nick one of your songs? I was like, yes, by all means. So like, thank you. So yeah, but copyright issues, man. Boo.
Yeah, I don't like them.
It's free advertising for me, man. I don't. I never get. I get pulled on it all the time with like the reels and stuff when I do it. It's just kind of. But to me, I'm just like, if somebody's listening to your song and they like that song, they will then go and download it or check out the album that it's on. It's not a bad thing. I can never understand that. Well, you're using it for free. You're using our stuff. Like, no, I'm advertising your stuff.
Exactly. I mean, it's nothing bad. It's just everyone does it at the end of the day.
If I hear a song that I like, I'm going to go off and listen to that song. If I hear a song for 60 seconds and think, you know what, I want to listen to the full thing now. Let me go check it out. So, again, sorry, man, I'm just going on to little.
Mate, it's big fans. I don't mind. I really don't mind.
The little things like that just wind me up. It's like I just don't understand it. But yeah, so yeah, music's there. That's going out. We're talking about Firestar. I mean, obviously, I know a former guest on here, one Mr. Marshall Warner. You've got a huge match coming up. A ladder match, and I want to say this in a couple of weeks, start of March, is it?
This is not this week, but next week, Saturday.
Oh, 28th.
So it is literally on the day of the UKW pay-per-view.
Yeah, 28th. Sorry, yeah. So yeah, 28th of February. Then you against Mr. Warner in a ladder match.
In a TLC match, and
TLC. Sorry,
I can't say I'm looking forward to it. Love Marshall Warner as a wrestler. Don't want to be in a match with him in a TLC match. After I do know that he is in Rise. Not somewhere I want to be, but I'm looking forward for the match. Just not looking forward for the stipulation.
Yeah, it's again like when I sort of saw it and we talked about it, I was just kind of like, obviously anybody who's seen Marshall knows the dude can move. He's flippy. He's quick on his feet. Is, as the saying goes, quicker than a hiccup at times. So yeah, I was just really intrigued. I just think visually, obviously, I know you're no slouch, man. Your first step's like electric. So I was like, this is going to be a fast-paced, hard-hitting encounter, and yeah. So man, I'm just as a fan, I was excited. It's one of those matches that generally got me going.
It will be, and once it's on YouTube, hopefully, people will start to watch that. It most likely will be on YouTube because all of the things from Firestar come onto YouTube. But hopefully, people will see that and they'll think, "Oh, I wish I was there now," because this is like, whoa. But yeah, the match. Talking about the match, Marshall Warner, great wrestler, safe wrestler as well. And I agree with everything you said. He is fast. It probably will be a fast-paced match, but also a heavy-hitting match.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know I'm like repeating everything you've just said, but I am agreeing with you on this. I'm looking quite forward to it.
I will be keeping my eyes peeled because, as soon as that goes on YouTube, that is going to be. I fucking love YouTube for shows that I can't get to on. You know what I mean? I'm no Jeeves. I don't get to as many as I should, but I am very reliant on YouTube to be able to, catch up on stuff that I've missed. But as soon as that drops on there, I will be giving it a watch. Again, because I'm curious. It's just two young guys who, I would sort of say 3-4 years down the line will be kind of main eventing in a lot of places. I know obviously you main event some places now, but I'm talking like your radius will expand. I want to sort of see you're still two very young guys that have just over the next 3 or 4 years will just be like go mental in a lot of places.
I do agree with you. I mean, with Marshall, he's already getting to the places that he wants to be. And in all fairness, me and Marshall have had this feud for I'd say about a year roughly. Honestly, I'm happy that it's probably coming to an end because as much as I like Marshall, I would like to work with some other wrestlers. I'm pretty sure he feels the same as well, with working other wrestlers and having other storylines with them wrestlers, and same with me. But honestly, with the way Marshall is, I can't wait to see what else he can do in the future, because I know that he is going to be like, I wouldn't say Leon Slater, but like he is really good.
Yeah.
I can't deny that.
Yeah, the dude, he's got it. He's got the character on point as well. He's just, especially when he's playing heel, he's just so smackable.
Exactly. Took the words right out of my mouth.
But again, obviously, we've had him on the show a while ago. I need to check in with him. Actually, I spoke to him for a while. But yeah, he just kind of gets it and he gets the logic. I sort of say it's why I was generally excited to sort of see this match, sort of knowing what you can do, knowing what he can do. And everybody who's watching, keep your eyes peeled, obviously, on YouTube, on Firestar. If you miss it, I will share it as soon as it drops. So go get it watched. If you obviously get to the show, see it in person. As much as I love watching stuff on YouTube, it's nothing in comparison to seeing it, in person.
That is right.
So after I'm talking to you now. I'd like to try and remain unbiased, but since I'm talking to you, I'm going to take your side. I'm going to jump off the fence. I'm going to say, once you've beaten Marshall, in this TLC match, what's next at Firestar? Is anybody else in the sights? Is there any sort of anyone you like? Said you want to start working with other people? Anybody on the list?
There is a new guy coming to Firestar in a couple months. I used to train with him back in Malta, actually. Francesco Messina. He's been around. He's been around a few countries. Recently getting back into wrestling. I'd like to have a go with him. I'd like to have another go with Ashley Dunn. Maybe this time with me winning this time. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Other than that, I've been against most of Firestar's people. I've been against Anarchy Inc. I've been against Asylum at one point. Anyone you name in Firestar, I've probably been in the ring with them, shared the ring with them. There's one I would like to wrestle, Connor Maxon.
Yeah.
But all that will come in due time. Hopefully.
I mean, obviously, we're talking about, you working here at UKW and everything like that. Do you have a preference between like working heel or face? Like I said, you seem to turn heel very easily. Like I said, it was on the whim. You against Sam. It's like, well, Sam's obviously the baby face kind of thing, so you wanted him to get the pop. Have you got a preference? Is one easier than the other?
I think heel's easier than the other because, like, you can literally say what you feel and no one can actually put it against you because, they think you're actually, like, just going with your character.
Yeah.
So if, for example, I'm saying this, if I see a baby and it's being too annoying, shut up, shut the fuck up. That's just me being heel. I mean, I can mean it, I can say it, but the parents aren't going to think I'm meaning it.
No.
Same with like the kids at UKW. Some of them are really annoying, but they do give the crowd a really good atmosphere.
Yeah.
And I will say that. But most of the time, you just want to tell them to shut the fuck up. When you're a heel, mainly, I think the faces love it when that happens. But yeah, I think being heel is easier than being face. With being face, you have to actually try and manage to get the crowd onto you. So you have to clap, and if the crowd doesn't clap, your job's fucked.
Yeah,
you've done a bad job. I mean, you can do as many flips as you want, but the clap is like the most generic thing you can do. And if they don't get onto that, then just turn face. Just turn heel at that point.
Yeah. Job's done. Yeah, man, I never really thought about it. Like you sort of said, it's just those little testers. You're like, yeah, if you want to see if you're over, if you want to sort of just test the waters kind of thing, yeah, do that clap. 9 times out of 10, if you're doing your job right, yeah, you know, they'll clap along with you, they'll get behind you. But that moment, yeah, I could never thought about it that way. Like if they don't start clapping, you can literally just be stood there like, oh shit, you know, I'm on the Titanic.
Oh, no, well done. You know what? We'll try it again. Blah blah blah. And if they don't get onto that, then lean more to the heel side, I'd say. But that's my opinion.
Yeah.
Don't know who else would say that. But
you mentioned the I'll say sorry, mate. You mentioned the kids at UKW. They are a perfect example of kind of like being able to assess a situation. I sat with somebody at a show once, and they kind of sat there, and it was just like they've lost the kids, and I was like, "What are you on about?" And it goes like at a UKW show, like you know, if the kids stop and pay attention to the match, which they always do with yours and you know a few other people's, then you know you've got them. You're doing what you're meant to be doing. But as soon as the kids start running up and down, they've lost attention. They're not watching the match anymore. It's like, yeah, okay, right, we've lost them.
They've lost attention, but then once they've got one big heel that will genuinely get pissed off with them and will say something to them like, sit down right now, or I'm going to come out there and get you myself. It's like, oh, no, sit down straight away. But yeah, most of the time when I go out there, the kids are always just sat still, take the piss out of me, cheer who you love, boo who you hate, all that.
It's because you've got them there, man. Like so, I said that comes down to like we sort of said earlier, you know, about the character you coming out, and you always get that reaction. You always kind of get that. You evoke the emotion that you want, kind of thing. And again, it's incredible. Like I said, you know, I said earlier about the age thing. I kind of probably thought you was older than you were because of what you can do in the ring. Makes sense. You know, you've been doing it for 12 years. But yeah, man, you work like an old hand. Like saying that you were the veteran against Cavelli for your age, to refer to you as the veteran is freaking mental. But it's true.
I have heard a few people call themselves the veteran, so to hear someone else saying that I'm the veteran, really appreciate it, to be honest.
You work like it, man. That's the biggest. Like, so I'm kind of putting it out there, like you know, that's you work like one.
I do appreciate it. But yeah, no, my main goal is just really at the moment to just keep my opponent safe, keep myself safe within UKW, obviously, because as a heel, I've got to keep myself safe, keep them safe, get my job done, and get them the pop that they need. That's all I need to do for now until, you know, maybe a storyline comes in the books or something happens. Then, yeah, sure, something will happen.
Oh, dude. Yeah, I'm just, again, because I'm there each week, I like kind of seeing, you know, the storyline start to build up, or when you start seeing people on a regular basis, it's just kind of like, right, okay, I know what they can do in the ring. I'm just kind of sat there waiting for, like just giving something to get the teeth into. I just want to see something building now. You know, I want to see that kind of, and again, there's so many people that I could fancy book the crap out of, you know, armchair booking kind of thing. Like, oh, yeah, I'd love to see you feud with like I say, you know, you got Mason's, Cavelli's kind of a long series, like a best of 7 or something with either one of those guys, or, you know, to be fair, if you ever went face again, which I don't want, but you and Cliff, I'd love seeing you and Cliff in a match. But as you're both heels, yeah, not at the minute.
I mean, we've been in a fatal 4-way, so plus I have been in a heel versus heel match in UKW, so really it could happen. Could happen, couldn't happen. We don't know. We never know. The future's always changed. So.
Oh man, it's just like, yeah, stuff like that. Or if and when, you know, not to jinx it or put that into the universe, but you know, if the Thunder Buddies part ways and Raiden, you know, ventures off on singles, you know, a Raiden versus KT Gold, man, that
Yeah, I had that. It was quite fun, to be fair.
a one-off match or a series?
Huh?
A one-off match or a series of matches?
I'd like to have a series of matches with Raiden, because the first one that we had, I really enjoyed it, to be fair. Don't know about the crowd, because the crowd didn't actually know who to cheer for or who to boo. Although Raiden was leaning towards the face a bit more, but he wasn't really, you know,
Yeah.
he wasn't really doing any of that. So it was like, you know, didn't know who to cheer for. But yeah,
I think now,
I'd love to have a few series of matches with Raiden.
yeah, I think now he's in out and out face, you know, with all the kind of, you know, dance off stuff. And obviously, yeah, you've kind of got that character where you just look at him and be like, "Oh, mate, what are you doing?" And then just slap him or something.
Mate, I'm just there to wrestle. I mean, that's all I'm there to do.
Again,
If you're
I'm
going to
just
dance in front of me, I'm going to ask why you're not at a ballet concert instead.
valid point because this, as the saying goes, again, this ain't ballet, son. What are you doing?
Just get the match sorted. Fucking kick shit out each other. That's all.
Oh man, but yeah, that's again. Just hopefully down the road that'd be awesome. I would pop for that. But yeah, you got the Firestar thing. You've got obviously UKW. Anything else? You know, I've tried. I'm racking my brain now when I've been talking to you. There's obviously other promotions that I've looked at. That you know, if things are still going on over there. So besides Firestar and you know UKW, anything else coming up or anything else you want to sort of shout out? Talk about?
Currently, there's no more shows coming up. There is one coming up for Bolton Town.
Yes.
There
Like
is
Bolton.
one. Not sure when it's happening, but I think I am going against the Booker.
Oh,
Not sure.
I've got them on. I've got them coming. I've got them coming on soon, so I might have to pick the brain about that. I'll be like, oh, you know that KT Gold?
Yeah, you might have
Yeah.
to pick the brain for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am on that. To think of a couple more shows. There's TNT coming up soon. And probably another new British promotions match coming up soon as well.
Nice. Well, yeah, I'll
So
get
yeah,
the plots.
there's a few things coming up.
Awesome. I'll keep my eyes peeled, obviously, and share what I can share when I sort of see it popping up on the socials and stuff. But yeah, when I speak to the old Bolton Town Wrestling BTW, I'll have to stir that up a little bit and just be like, yeah, KT Gold, mate. Said he was going to slap you.
I don't think they've actually put the match card out yet. I think it's a fatal 4-way. I didn't tell you this.
We'll get in trouble, man.
You.
When they come on,
Yeah.
I'll sort of see if I can prize a little bit more out of him. I'll see if I can get it to be like a Work the Left Side exclusive or something. Because, yeah, man, Bolton, you know, one of the promotions that absolutely smashed it at the end of year awards. So I was just kind of like, mate, they must have an amazing fan base. You know, they've got a loyal fan base. So I presume working shows there will be like, you know, next level, just full of energy. So I was like, yeah, okay. They seem like a promotion that appreciate the fans. So I was like, yeah, I want to talk to those guys.
They do seem it. Genuinely can't wait to debut there. hopefully get a pop. Obviously, I'll try my best. Um, but yeah, I'm looking forward to working with them and working with the other companies I've mentioned and continuing to work with UKW. I
That's,
don't want to stop working there because it is really fun seeing everyone there and then seeing Chris and Cavelli and Cliff and all those people, and it's just everyone's really nice there as well. But then again, everywhere you go, everyone's nice unless you've got that one guy who's just big head. Yeah, wank. But
that's
yeah,
the thing.
other than that, everyone's decent.
That seems to be the thing at the minute. Obviously, I think this is like episode 302 or something. So I've spoken to a few people over the last few years. That seems to be kind of like the ongoing pattern of, especially over the last 3 or 4 years. British wrestling, the scene itself, it's only getting better. It's only getting stronger. But everybody seems to be standing on everybody else's, you're elevating everybody else. Like they've got the mindset of a rising tide raises all ships kind of thing. Everybody's just trying to help everybody out. It seems like a much more positive place than it was maybe, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago.
100%. 100%.
It's just obviously it helps as well, like so the promotions that you've mentioned, the people that because again, another word I hear constantly is networking. So like say these guys, you guys you've met at UKW, guys you've met at Firestar, guys that have met you. It's all word of mouth. You all get to know each other, and yeah, you get to sort of shake hands and you get to network.
Yeah, exactly. And with the people that you can eventually probably get some bookings out of that as well. Like to name a few, Chris Mason and Sam Cavelli, they came to a Firestar training session because I asked them to, and they've actually got a booking. So basically, yeah, just with speaking to people, speaking to the right people, you can get them into places, which is brilliant.
That must be cool as well, though. Because, like I said, again, not whether you want to pat yourself on the back with that, or whether you want to take credit for it, but what I mean, you're helping. Everybody's helping everybody out, kind of thing. Like, so they've got a booking on Firestar because they came along to a training session because somebody got to see what they could do because you asked them to come on. That's just. Again, I like that mentality of people helping people out. Like, so you hit the nail on the head about 5 minutes ago when you sort of said, you're working, but you're there to protect people, but you're there to elevate them as well. Man, if everybody had that mindset, I just think it's amazing.
Mate, at the end of the day, in the wrestling business, 100%, you have to help people because if you don't help people, no one's going to help you. And then you kind of on your own there. It's the same with being, I don't want to say awkward around the locker room, but like keeping to yourself in the locker room. If you keep to yourself, people are going to think you're weird. People are going to think, well, he doesn't really want to speak to us. He thinks he's better than us. That's what people will think. But really, they won't know that you're kind of like scared to actually speak to them. Because I was like that when I first debuted at UKW for the WrestleBration show. I kept to myself. Only spoke to Tommy Dillon because it was the only person that I knew, and shook everyone's hand. But then just went straight downstairs, got on my gear, sat there on my phone, didn't want to speak to anyone. The next show that I came to, I was more chilled out with everyone. And someone actually had told me that they thought I was just a cocky git that didn't want to speak to anyone. I was like, no, I was genuinely like awkward. I genuinely didn't know, I was just testing the waters. And they understood my point of view, but there are a few people that are genuinely like that. And it's just, you have to have the right person to go up to them and speak to them and then be like, if I help you, you can help me, and then we'll help each other. It's basically one big family within the wrestling business.
I've always said that if I ever did, have the cojones to, get into it back in the day kind of thing, that would have been me. That would be my biggest issue is I would be that weirdo sat in the corner, just keeping himself to himself, and I'd just be like, not because like so say you think you're better than anyone, but I was just like, well, I don't want
Exactly,
to
but it's
bother
just
anyone.
because
I don't
you're
want to
open,
bother anyone.
you know what to say.
Yeah, I don't want to be that guy that bothers people. I'll just sit here and keep quiet. Go full Batman and sit in the shadows kind of thing. But
Yeah, that's
yeah,
genuinely how I feel.
but yeah, you get that reputation to be like, oh, he thinks he's better than everyone. It's like, no, mate, it's actually the complete opposite. Yeah, well, I don't even think I'm worthy
I'm
of your time.
scared to speak to you guys because you guys are like don't know any of you, and you all know each other. You could gang up on me or something.
That's it,
Obviously,
mate.
you wouldn't, but like,
Yeah, you never know. Like, yeah, well, I'll take your word for it. But yeah, that is. I've always said that would be my one key issue. But again, I've heard it so many times, like the importance of just being able to put yourself out there, and come like even if you have to fake the confidence, just get it over that. You're there. You're confident about what you're doing, but not too confident. Obviously, not to be cocky, but yeah, you've got to have that kind of. You've got to walk the walk.
it is scary at first, but then once you're out there and actually doing your match, you come backstage and you speak to the guys that you were in a match with, and then it's like, okay, you start to speak to people. Your confidence is boosted a bit because you just had a great match. You've done it with new people. You speak to them, and then it's like now you want to speak to everyone.
Yeah.
It's much easier after you've had your match. You've had all that done and dusted and all that. You go back downstairs. You just speak to everyone, and everyone speaks to you.
That's it. Like I said, I kind of get that vibe, especially like UKW. The kind of like sort of said, it's just one big wrestling misfit family kind of thing. Once everybody gets to know everybody, and as I suppose once you're more comfortable as well, you can obviously then ask, for any kind of feedback as well. Like on the match, if anybody's willing to give it to you, you can be like, yeah, just let me know what was good, what was bad. But it's coming from a place of to make you better. They're not doing it to be shitty about it. They're just being like, it's positive, or they're critiquing it to help you improve.
Yep.
Especially somewhere like UKW, because as much as I mentioned the young guys, you've got your Broncos there, you've got Tommy Dillon there, you've got the guys that have probably been, have been around and seen a few things. So, if they want to give you a bit of advice, I'm going to guess you listen to it.
Mm-hmm. But then you've got people like Chris Mason and Sam Cavelli who confident as fuck. They'll go to anyone and they'll act like they've known them for ages. I love that about them too. Those are the only two that I'd actually be comfortable with them doing it.
Yeah.
If anyone else came up to me and be like that, I'd be like, I've only just met you, mate. Please don't. But with them two, because obviously same age, around the same age and all that, it feels normal.
Yeah.
Like if I've got someone maybe like 20 or 30 or something like that, and they do that with me, I'm gonna think, I'm not exactly comfortable with that, mate. Sorry. But at the end of the day, if that's my way of seeing it, if there's people that are my age in the same locker room, I'll feel comfortable with it. Because before I used to be like the youngest guy in the locker room. Now I go to other places and I'm like, I'm not the youngest anymore. There's another kid that's just a year younger than me. There's another kid that's like a few months younger than me. I was thinking, oh, I don't need to be so scared anymore now.
Yeah.
Everything feels better now. I think you realize once you get a bit older in the wrestling business, you get respected more, and people talk to you more because they ask for more feedback because they think that you know more, but in reality, it's just because you're getting older.
Just winging it. Yeah.
I say this like I'm 30 or something, but I'm just saying it because I've actually had this like from a couple of people. It makes me sound so old.
Embrace it. Dude, I referred to you as a veteran before. So, yeah, it doesn't surprise me that people are kind of picking your brain. Because as young as you are, in wrestling ring terms, You've got years on them, dude.
I do. That's a problem. But I don't really like tell people that, because if I tell someone that, they'll be like, "Oh, really? Oh, I thought I did it longer than you. Oh, well, I've still been in the business longer. You've been training longer, but I've been in the business longer." I've had a few people say that as well. But
Oh, really? Like, what? Why does that matter?
exactly, I've had more training. Just because you've been in the business longer, that could have been your promoter's fault, not you. No one's blaming you. Don't worry. Um, but I have had a few people come up and ask me for feedback. I think it's because they think, because I'm a year older than them, they think that I'm the person that they can trust to tell them,
Yeah.
which I can understand that, because I used to do the same thing as well. With a kid I knew, it was a year older. But yeah, as long as people are getting the right feedback, I'm happy.
I can totally understand. You are going to be more inclined to listen to somebody who, like you said, is closer in age, because you're on the same wavelength. You're probably both looking at it, in the same way, kind of thing, as opposed to somebody like 10, 15 years older. As great as they may be, what they think about it will probably be vastly different to what you think about it. Because and so yeah, you're going to take on board somebody closer to your age and what their thoughts are. So just again, just makes sense to me.
Yeah.
But again, I'm sorry, dude. I was going to say, talked about, referred to you as a veteran. I mean, there's not many guys, your age where I've seen pictures of them. It was in the intro. You sent it over. I've seen it on your Instagram. You coming out through the curtains carrying 3 belts.
Yes, I did think that was going to come through at some point.
Yes, dude. Of course it is. That's crazy. Again, you wanted, like, why I refer to you as a veteran kind of thing, or again, it totally blew my mind when you sort of said how old you were. I'm seeing these pictures. I'm seeing you in the ring, against like Martin Kirby, guys like that. So yeah, the 3 belts. There's. I know we've talked about it in person, kind of thing, but it's just for anybody who doesn't know. Yeah, man, to be belt collecting at your age,
Hmm?
that's impressive, dude.
Yeah. I mean, really, I think people are only giving me it because of the gimmick, because it's called the Gold Collector.
Okay.
So I think that's probably the only reason they're giving it. I know that Firestar gave it because they actually saw something in me, and because I used to take the belts everywhere I went. So like to every company I used to go to, I used to take the belts with me, and I used to come out with them, and it used to be like proper, like, you know, obviously with UKW I wouldn't be able to do that because they don't announce like gimmicks.
Yeah.
So if I come out with that, it's like, well, he doesn't have any belts here, so he's not better than the rest of these guys. Um, but if I go and do that somewhere else, they'll name the gimmick. They'll say, and coming in next, the Gold Collector, KT Gold, and they see me come out with these 3 belts. Oh, that's why he's the Gold Collector. He's got 3 belts. But yeah, other than that, I don't want any more belts. They're so heavy.
Just too much,
They're so heavy. To be truthful with you,
mate. I've seen a
they're
year.
so heavy.
You'll have arms like freaking Scott Steiner. I'm like, you got some more belts, mate. I've got 20 belts now. I've carried them all around. Look at the peaks. You're like, yeah, there we go.
I don't know how Ultimo Dragon did it. I'm scared of
Yes,
people like him because he held like 12 belts.
but dude, you sort of say I don't know whether you're just palming it off or downplaying it, dude. But to say anybody would give you a belt just because of the character, because of the gimmick kind of thing, I don't think any promotion, or I'd like to think no promotion would just give somebody a belt just to help their gimmick get over. You still got that responsibility of being, a face of the promotion by holding that belt. So you're not going to get it unless you deserve it.
Plus, the only way you'll actually get a belt is if the promoter sees you're showing some dedication to the promotion. Coming out with this match with like a 4.5 or a 5-star match or something. You're putting on banger matches basically, and the crowd are getting onto you. That's the only way that a promoter will actually give you a belt, unless you've got a promoter that's really dodgy and he just wants to give you a belt because he's your mate or because he's your best friend.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that's the case in your, unless you were Bezzies with one of the promoters, and I'm just totally wrong in what I'm saying.
No.
There you go. So yeah, what you said a couple of minutes ago about, that's you're underselling it, dude. You got those belts because you deserved them and because of the hard work. So, dude, yeah. Again, I think other promotions, I like it when people turn up with belts from other shows. It just kind of makes you seem more credible. It makes you seem like more of a threat kind of thing. And then if like one of the promotion's home guys beats you, dude, that automatically makes them feel like a bigger star.
Exactly.
Or if they lose to you, it doesn't do them any damage. You know what I mean? They're not weak in defeat because they've just been beat.
Even the fact that you're bringing another belt from another company, it doesn't matter because if they win, they look bigger.
Yeah.
If you win, the guy with the belt, it makes no difference because you've got the belt, they don't. They're not going to lose anything. So really, it's just.
But it's not done like
win-win.
Exactly, yeah, that's my logic on it. Again, I'm speaking from this side of the curtain, I mean, it's an uneducated opinion, but you look at people like, Mercedes Moné and stuff, it's not doing Rev Pro any harm by, her turning up with all the belts in the world kind of thing, or any other promotion that books her. They're booking her because she's got those belts and because, it's just, we can book this person who is a champion at so many other promotions. I don't get it. If I could book somebody who had that many belts, I'm like, yeah, bring the belts. Let the audience know that you are so good that you're on our show.
I do like the way you're thinking, to be fair. I do agree with you there.
Yeah, it's just my take on it, my logic. But again, it's.
I agree with you 100%.
So more belts.
That your achievement, show it off, all that stuff.
Exactly, and the promoter can look at it as like, my achievement is booking this guy, who's obviously so good and so in demand, but he wants to come and work here. So again, it's a win-win. Everybody wins. There's no downside to that situation.
Everyone wins. It's wrestling. Everyone wins at the end of the day.
Yes.
Even when they don't win, they still win.
The fans win at the minute. That's the key thing. That's what I will say. Everybody wins. You get a win. They get a win. We get a win. It's just, I don't want to keep repeating myself from previous episodes, but I just can't get over how much of a sort of great time it is to be a fan of British wrestling. And I can only presume, like I say, we talked about it before, the energy backstage. If you guys are aware that you're, involved in something so big at the minute.
Yeah. There's not a lot of people that actually know about it all. And the people that do know, it's either because they work at the companies I work at, which is not a lot of UKW wrestlers. But people like Tommy Dillon, mainly. Tommy Dillon and Remus Kane, and really those are the only two that work with me in other companies. So they know about it all. And then the other ones are just the odd ones that I've told or they found out by themselves because they've looked on Instagrams and socials and all that. But yeah, as you're saying with the British wrestling, brilliant, great. Everything looks perfect at the moment. Hopefully nothing changes. Because it looks like everyone's getting along with each other for once. So yeah, hopefully nothing changes and everything just stays the same as it is now.
Building and building. You mentioned him a few times. Again, I would be amiss if I didn't take a second to acknowledge the awesomeness that is Rebus Kane as well. Obviously, had the genuine pleasure of speaking to him a while ago. I want to see. I've not seen him at UKW for ages, so I'm kind of gutted he's not been around. But hopefully, we'll be back at some point because he's all about building this faction. I know he wants to kind of create this crazy sort of like outcast, flock of misfits and scary people.
Yeah, he wants to bring back. I can't remember what he called it before. Society. He called it the Society. I'm thinking that he wants to bring that back because he had actually invited me to that a couple months ago. I'd said yes at one point. Don't know if it's still happening or if something's changed. Because I also got messages from Chris Mason saying, "Oh yeah, let's build a team. Me, you, and Sam. Young generation." And I was like, I didn't want to say no because I was happy to do it, but I also didn't want to tell him, "Well, I've been invited to another faction. Can they come along as well?" But yeah, I said yes to that as well if he could get it through to the booker. But at the end of the day, I'm just there. If they tell me that I'm doing that, I'm doing that.
Yeah.
If they tell me that I'm doing another thing, I'm doing another thing. You have to listen to the promoter at the end of the day.
Dude, they're the ones who pay the checks. But I just sorry, mate. I just kind of went like that because when you mentioned obviously Sam and Mason, and then yourself, and then I was like, just combine them all. Have the society of the next generation. The New Blood Society or something with Rebus, leading the charge. But then, you, Mason, Sam, and a few other people just been like, I'm just again, I get my armchair booking mode on. But yeah, we want to see Rebus back at some point. That would be amazing. If the society ever does form, I would be hyped to see it because I'm just a massive mark for factions.
I would like to see some more factions because I don't think UKW actually has any factions from what I know of, apart from
Lawless, really maybe Savage, Dylan, and CJ.
Yeah, those three.
That's only three.
You could technically call them a faction. I mean, there's three people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's the only one that they've actually got. If there was another one, that would be sick. Because a faction wars or some shit like that.
Mate, I'm just thinking, like, obviously, when I was speaking to Rebus, again, you mentioned there about, like WCW back in the day. I don't know if you sort of went far enough back, with like Raven and the Flock, with stuff like that.
Yeah.
Mate, I just imagine, like, obviously, something along those lines, maybe as like a template or a bit of a homage to kind of thing. But yeah, just obviously Rebus being like, the leader, just sat there chilling out and just having all you guys go off and do his dirty work and attack people, but look badass while doing it.
I'd really like to see that, to be fair. Hopefully it happens in the future. I'm sure something will come along.
Just factions. What factions?
Yes. Factions. Need a petition to get factions, and we also need a petition to change Raiden to Raiden.
Dude, mate, I've been saying it like. Right, I'm going to put this on record. I'm putting this out on camera now while you're here. You brought it up. You started this now. You stirred the pot. You mentioned it. You lit the fuse. Right. You've got a dude who's in a team called the Thunder Buddies. His name is spelled the same as Raiden, but it's pronounced Raiden. I can't. I really want to kind of like get behind him, but that really irks me. And I'm just like, mate,
get it out once you can. Get it out once you can.
Yeah, I'm trying to vent it here, dude. And at one point, it's like, here comes the thunder, here comes the lightning. And I was like, that would make sense if his name was Raiden.
Yes.
But
at least someone agrees with me.
Dude, and it's such a much cooler wrestling name as well, Raiden. It's like, yes. But anyway, I digress.
I like Raiden, but I like Raiden if it was spelled Ryden instead of Raiden.
Yes. But I feel so much better. I've been holding that inside for so long. I kind of feel like a massive weight's been taken off. I might actually be able to enjoy the matches now instead of just being sat there being like, every time somebody says Raiden, I'm like, Raiden! Just to try and get her.
Exactly.
yeah. Dude.
At least the weights have been lifted off.
I feel like, man, I'm floating. I feel like I'm like levitating here. This is good. I like it. Lesson learned. Vent. Get out of your system sometimes. You'll feel so much better. Dude, I said I'd keep you for about an hour, which I've gone well over now, so apologies for that, dude. But
No, well, I'm sure they'll watch this and think, oh, I've watched this for an hour as well. Must have enjoyed it.
time flies, mate. But no, honestly, dude, thank you so much for just coming along and having a chat. Yeah, having a bit of a laugh and talking wrestling. Hopefully you've enjoyed it.
My pleasure, honestly.
Awesome. So yeah, man, I look forward to seeing what the future holds. Like I said, the promotions you mentioned. Looking forward to watching that ladder match when it drops on YouTube. Looking forward to seeing also what else is going to be going on at UKW. But yeah, dude, if you want to let people know where they can find you on the socials, they can hit that follow button and keep an eye on what you're doing as well.
Yeah, they can find me at KT_gold_wrestler on Instagram. They can find me at KT Gold on Facebook. They can also find me on YouTube with KT Gold as well. Yeah, that's everything you need to know.
Right. Well, my boy Ash on the Work the Left Side Instagram account will obviously tag you in the post to announce this episode has been uploaded. If you're not following KT, hit that follow button. Keep your eyes peeled. If he's on a show near you, go watch that show. If you can get to the Firestar match to see that TLC match against Marshall, do so. I guarantee you, I will give you a Work the Left Side guarantee. That match alone will be worth the ticket price. So go. Let me know if you enjoyed it. But dude, obviously, yeah, thank you for coming on along. Everybody else, you know who we are. Hit like, subscribe, share, comment, all the generic stuff we ask you to do every episode. Keep your eyes peeled. As mentioned, we've got Bolton Town Wrestling coming up. And then the week after that, Gung Ho Muttley returns. So we'll get to hear that music again. I might actually just use that music for the Gung Ho Muttley. I might ask him if I can just use that for the intro. Just Pulverize. Yeah, I'll have to apologise to Pulverize. I'm like, sorry, but you'll understand why when you hear the music, and they'll be like, okay, yeah, everybody knows it's all right. But dude, honestly, mate, thank you so much for coming on, and
thank you for having me on.
Not a problem. Everybody else, remember, always work the left side. Goodbye.